We have indeed. So we've managed to find Kuchava. We were at Chitwa Dam Wall. We heard Impala's alarm calling, and we quickly raced down, and there she is, just disappearing from us into some really dense bush. Hopefully she's going to slow down. She's on a serious mission. She keeps moving all over the place. But you see she's scent marking. Now that scent marking is super important and super interesting, because at the end of the day, she's claiming a territory that we know this was where her mother used to walk around a lot. And the fact that she's spraying like that is a definite indication that she thinks this is now her territory. So it is super, super important. Now I'm super excited, and I forgot to welcome the Slack Elementary Teachers Conference. I hope that you are having a wonderful time with us, and it is really great to have you on board. I'm going to try and keep up with the leopard and try and kind of make sure that I don't lose her. And just so that we're all on the same page, my name is Tristan. On camera today I do have Senzo. It's all a little bit kind of chaotic because, well, a leopard is a special thing, and we don't get to see them. Well, we do see them quite often, but we've been looking all day for leopard and been tracking lots of tracks, and we've had a bit of a frustrating day trying to find them. So this is really cool to be able to catch her now as she's about to sort of start her evening patrol and move around and start walking around to try and kind of get food, or maybe potentially hunt, or at least mark her territory, which is really very cool. Now you can see it's going to get very dense, very thick. It's not going to be pleasant, and then from there she's going to go down towards a very deep drainage line, but in that drainage line is going to be water. So I'm hoping that once she goes down towards the water, she might stop and have a drink before she then decides to start getting going again and starting to try and hunt and start moving around and scent marking. But this is a young female leopard. She's only just started becoming territorial. So she's about, I think she's about almost 4 now, so about 3.5, 4 years old. And so she is starting to get to that age where she's got to set up a territory. She's been mating with a male as well, which means that she could potentially be pregnant, and therefore that's why she's going to have a situation where she's going to want to try and establish territory if she is. So she has been mating. It often takes a while for them to mate. In their first few mating experiences, they kind of, it takes a while until they actually take the pregnancy and give birth. But look, you see she spotted something? Look, she's gone into a different mode altogether. She's getting low to the ground. You see that tail is moving a little bit. So she's just checking things out. So she's definitely looking for food and is on the move trying to find something to eat. And this is the best time to be with a leopard. When they're like this, it means that you're in for a real treat, and you're going to have lots and lots and lots of amazing sightings of them as they try and hunt. You see how she's going up a little bit now? She's up onto a fallen over tree just to watch and to try and see and to look what's going on. Now I think whatever it is has spotted her, because she's put her tail up, and you see there's a very, very big white tip to that tail. Now that white tip on the tail indicates that she's telling everybody, I'm not trying to hunt you, leave me alone, if she has been spotted. She's trying to reduce the amount of noise that is around her. But I'm going to try and keep up with her. She seems as though she's changing direction a little bit. All very exciting. I absolutely love leopards. They're my favorite animal, and so anytime I get to see a leopard, I'm a happy camper. And so hopefully it will be a really good sighting, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it too. Now remember, I did forget, if you do have any questions, you're welcome to send them through, and we shall try and answer as many as possible about the secretive shy leopard. There we go. What's she chasing? She's chasing something. You see, she's kind of trotting off down the hill towards something. I don't know what she's seen. I don't see anything just yet, but it could be anything like a scrub hare or a duiker or steenbok, which are small little sort of medium-sized antelope. There's also things like impala, which is close to a deer-sized antelope, and that's what she might have spotted, and that's why she shot off to try and go and chase it. Now I believe you guys are loving the leopard and that you're really enjoying it. It is one of the most beautiful animals, and following those cheetah, you can actually see that there's quite a lot of differences between the two. Now this is a small female leopard. It's not a fully grown yet. She probably will still bulk up a little bit, but you see her spot pattern is completely different to those that you saw of the cheetah in the Mara. She's got spots that look like they've exploded out, and they're called what we term rosettes. You also see that she's a stockier, shorter build, a lot more power in the shoulders and the chest area, because these guys are designed for ambush and bringing down large prey animals in relative to their size, whereas cheetah built for speed are a lot more elongated, a lot taller, slender animals that are built for speed and for chasing animals down over short distances. These guys are designed to try and camouflage incredibly well, and you can see her coloration, even though she's got those rosettes, actually blends in so well, and it's quite difficult to see her as she sort of negotiates and slinks through this thick bush. But try and just keep up with her. It's a little difficult to... Now, I believe, unfortunately, the school's internet's gone down, so they're no longer watching. But, well, the rest of you are with us, so you guys can still send your questions through on #SafariLive or YouTube chat as we try and follow Kuchava. I'm so excited to see her. It's been a while since I've seen her. The last time I saw her, she was mating with Tingana. I think that's the last time I saw her. And so it's super cool that we can be with her and really follow her through this little period. Liz, you're asking, does this mean we may get more Kuchava sightings now that she's around this area? Most certainly, I think that will be the case. She's going to have a situation where she's scent marking, means that she's trying to set up her territory and she's trying to get a sort of position in this area. So I think we're going to see a lot more of Kuchava over the next little bit. I really think we're going to be a permanent fixture of this southern sort of area of Chitwa, and maybe even around Chitwa Lodge, where she might follow in her mother's footsteps and actually give birth around there. Now, at the end of the day, Kuchava wasn't born at Chitwa. Tamba was born here, but Kuchava wasn't born far away, and so she's going to probably go around this area between Cheetah Plains and Chitwa, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot more of her, as well as a lot more of Tundi, because ultimately if she's here, it means Tundi's pushing a little further north, which is excellent news for us. Remember, Tundi at the end of the day is pregnant, and we know that she's got to give birth somewhere, and if Kuchava is scent marking like this, it means Tundi is not scent marking here, which means she doesn't want to actually give birth in this area. She wants to birth somewhere else, and so I think where Tundi's going to birth is either going to be Torchwood or on Djuma, one of the two. I'm hoping on Djuma. I think she's spending enough time around the Mulawati checking it out to look for viable den sites, and obviously it's back to her natal area where she was born, so she'll know there's some safe places there. And so I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to see Kuchava down here in the South Cheetah Plains, Chitwa, and we're going to see Tundi more in Torchwood, Djuma, and that's how this separation is going to go. And that's absolutely perfect for us. It's exactly what we want. Whenever we have female leopards that have female cubs, it's always that excitement, because we know that generally those females will be somewhere in that area and end up sort of taking a sliver of territory from their mother. But there we go, she's just trotting. She's on a serious mission. I don't know what she's seen, but she's trotting. So Ellen Fowler, you saying that she's just over 3 years old. She was born in September 2014. So there we go. I thought she was, I don't know why I thought 4. I knew there was, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting too excited about things. But thank you very much for the information. It's always so helpful when people send things through. I wasn't actually here when Kuchava was born. I wasn't in the Sabi Sands at that stage. In fact, I was sitting in dreary London at the time. And so it's nice to know that what her exact age is, and it's just been fantastic to actually catch up with her and spend some time with her over the last little bit. Now, as you can see, it's a wonderful area she's decided to move through and decide to actually kind of go in, and I'm trying to negotiate it as best I can for the quickness that she's moving. She's unfortunately moving a lot faster than I was hoping she would. There we go. Is she gone up the tree now? So she's gone up into a tree, so I'm going to just try and get round. Well, that's good news. Pity she went up when she did, although I've got a great idea, because there is a reason why I am very happy about this. Hold on, let me just try and get through. Still got a bit of a playful nature if she's going up and down trees like this. So what I want to try and do is hopefully we can pull this off. It's going to be a long shot, but we're going to try. So it might require a little bit of space, but Sense, if you can try and get, for me, let's see if I can get this right, a widest shot of her, and it's going to be tough, but maybe you can try, of her and the full moon. It's not quite the right terrain for her to be backdropped by the full moon, but you can see the full moon there in the left-hand side, and then she's sitting up in the tree, and how beautiful is that. So I would have liked to have lined her up with the full moon and have her silhouetted against it, but unfortunately the way the terrain and the way that she's lying doesn't quite work out that way, and we don't really have the exact alignment possible, but it's close enough and still epically beautiful. And I'm glad she went up the tree. It's nice. Now I don't have to go crashing through bushes. It's been a thick little journey trying to get through here and following her around. So whatever she's been watching, she's in a kind of playful mood. She's running, she's up trees. It's a typical kind of young leopard behavior, but isn't that beautiful? Pink sky in the background. It's as good as it gets, really. Are we being spoilt by that? She just now, when we first found her, she was walking through the most magnificent orange light. It was really quite amazing. Now, what I'm going to try and do, she's looking up into Senzo. I'm going to just try and move you a little bit because I just wanted the moon shot and the moon shot doesn't quite work. So I'm just going to reposition Senzo so that he's got a better kind of view of her that is a lot cleaner without all those sticks. There we go. That should do it. There we go, Senzo. That's a lot better. So Senzo's going to have a much nicer kind of picture of her up in the tree, and look, oh, she's stretching. There we go. That's much better. Now we don't have sticks and things all in front of her eyes. How beautiful is that? That is the quintessential African picture, or even Sabi San's picture. A leopard in a big marula, just sitting, yawning at the sort of dusk or sunset time. It is really the best kind of picture you could think of, and one that anyone who dreams about leopards would dream about something like that. So super happy that she went up there and just slowed down a little bit for us. Like I say, there is water not far from here, so I don't think she's going to be up for too long. I think she's going to probably come down just now. Kathy, it's not that they're edging each other out with scent marking. They're using scent marking as a way of being passive-aggressive, if you want to call it that. So they're marking to try and establish themselves in a territory, particularly Kuchava. She hasn't held a territory. Tundi is marking to try and keep a territory, whereas Kuchava is trying to set one up. And so her scent marking is a little bit different to what Tundi is doing. But yes, I suppose essentially yes. I suppose a chemical barrier is being formed by scent marking, and that is telling any other leopard, I've made my mark here, this is my territory, my area, and this is where I want to be. And so that's probably why she's marking like that, and it does push other leopards away at the end of the day. You know, they try and do this so that they don't actually physically have to fight with one another. It's a much better system than having to physically fight. Now, our leopard is stationary for now. There's a few monkeys alarm calling at her, so we're going to sit with her for a little bit longer, and while we do that, I believe Scott's sleek, slender, spotted beauties, and, well, cousin of this, is on the move. And I do indeed. She's still sitting up in the tree. The monkeys are still alarm calling at her, and she's settling right down now. She's starting to look really as though she's going to have a little bit of a nap. Now she's just turning to the south and watching. I wonder if maybe she didn't hear something. I've heard on the radio just now that somebody heard a leopard calling. Maybe she's heard it as well. That's maybe why she's up there, just to have a little look around. And then we go back down again. But like I say, it is just the most perfect tree that she could be in, this kind of split marula that bends round, and it's just such a wonderful picture to see. It's kind of as good as it gets, really. It's a pity about some of the branches that are kind of on the bottom right there. It would have been a really beautiful picture if it was just those purple colors of the sort of twilight and just the clean lines of the marula. It would have been absolutely wonderful, but it's still pretty special, to be honest, and it's as good as I could have asked for this afternoon. Now, she does seem as though she's quite full as well. I mean, she's not empty. There's a little bit of a bump in that belly, and although she doesn't look very comfortable either. I don't know if she's going to stay there for too much longer. I think she's going to wait until she maybe kind of figures out what's going on. I believe there's a leopard calling. I can hear it also in the distance as well, to exactly the way that she's looking at the moment. So maybe Tingana calling from somewhere in that direction. I know Hosanna is straight to our west at the moment on Little Gari, so it's going to be interesting to see who this is. Now, when we were following Kuchava just now, the impalas started alarm calling behind us long after we left. So I don't know if maybe she's being pursued by another leopard, and that's why she's kind of moved as fast as she was, but there was definitely, once she moved past, the impalas kind of trotted off, and then they started alarm calling again, way away from where we were and way out of the way from where we could actually see her, or from the impalas seeing her. So maybe there's another leopard cruising around here. It's very possible. Could be maybe Tingana. Like I say, there was tracks for a male leopard crossing southwards from the Mulawati, and so I'm not sure. Maybe something will arrive here. We'll sit and just have a little look around, and while we do that, Taylor McCurdy and Scotty D have been tag teaming the 5 Musketeers, and I believe it's now Taylor's turn to watch the beauty and to watch those beautiful 5 go through the long grass and hunt again. Well, she's already down the tree. I don't know which way she's going to go, but she's down already, so I'm just trying to see which way she's starting to head now and which way she's actually going to kind of move. She might head back the way she came. I've just got to let this vehicle turn so that I can also just try and figure out where exactly she's gone. I don't see her anymore, so I don't know if maybe she's kind of moved off through here. I think she's gone just to the left of this vehicle, so we're going to just try and get one last view of her before we finish up for the evening. It's been a good evening, but hopefully we'll be able to, like I say, just sneak through here and get one last view as she moves through this thicket. So it's not an easy place at all to try and keep up with the leopard, as we saw earlier. Now she's just off to my right. But you're wondering why most leopards are territorial, or most predators are territorial. Well, it's because predators are very dangerous to one another in terms of the fact that they kind of have got to keep away from other predators, and so they've got to make a territory where they know there's hiding places. Also because predators know that they've got to try and hunt and try and find water, and so food and water mean that they've got to constantly be on the lookout for, well, try and reduce competition, because it's going to be very difficult to hunt if there's a whole bunch of other predators already hunting the same animals. So push them away, make sure that they've got their own territory where they can raise their babies safely and also be able to find food and water. And so that's why they all are that way. I don't know where she's gone. I've lost her completely. So the other